Angakhala uhangayika mbwene uwerera siku bapapi 3/4 ya bana mukaya muno bapapi bokhalaso na bana bofu batengwa wowereraso ku nyumba sono izo ni nkhaza zikulu chomene bana bopwerereka yayi banalume bana mbwene ntchito yotola kwa wanakazi bananande otola uyu akumuleka akutola uyu mwanakazi okuleka uyu akumuleka sono takhumbanga kuti boma ichitepo kanthu kuti bana awakutengwa sono muzinthengo zikukhala cha ipo bakubikeko vyokhwima vinthu nyake chokhwima chakuti nthengo azikhazikikenge mu nyumba umo kuti aliyonse alelenge bana bake sange panyi nthengo ayikumala mwana aleleke na nyina kulisha kuti mwana akaleleke na dada bana kupangika nkhaza zinani banyake bana bakubatora wakachekesha mathabu abana maanda age wakuta ukachepisa mathabu sangatondeka ukaruta afuma skulu afumika kunyumba chakula kulije sangana kuchekesha mathabu akamba kumtimba sono nkhaza zinandi izibadada bakupangira bana bapangira so bauli babo boma unepo kanthu pamalamulo ya nkhaza ya bamama bali nepo kanthu chakuti bakhoje nthengwa ya bana bitu madazana nthengwa bukhala cha bana lume mbweni bamba wakakutola wakabana kazi bweka mbweni waona kuti mbweni choseberesha ipo boma ipangira mulo ya kuti nthengwa zikhole mkaya umu.
Good evening, welcome. It's time for the news coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center in Area 2, Lilongwe. My name is Vales Chizombe. Now let's have a look at our top stories. Pope Francis invites Catholics to renew consecration to Immaculate Heart of Mary on March 25th. Parliament moves to improve access to safe water and sanitation services for 330,000 people in Luntha. Ministry of Education announces plans of reopening schools in districts affected by Cyclone Freddy. And in other news, Ugandan President urges United States of America to respect Ugandan sovereignty over anti-gay bill. Now the news in details. Pope Francis has invited Catholics to annually renew an act of consecration to the Immaculate Heart of Mary on March 25th. The solemnity of the Annunciation on Saturday marks 1 year since Pope Francis consecrated Russia and Ukraine to the Blessed Virgin Mary in St. Peter's Basilica with a prayer asking for peace in the world. At the end of his general audience on March 22nd, the Pope recorded his historic act at consecration and called on parish communities and prayer groups to annually renew the Marian consecration. Jacqueline Saidi, leading a Catholic Agency News report.
Last year, Pope Francis asked all the bishops of the world to join him in consecrating Russia and Ukraine to the Immaculate Heart of Mary 1 month after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. From the tip of Florida to Seattle, every U.S. diocese participated in the consecration in one form or another. The Bishop of Fairbanks prayed the consecration on the shores of the Bering Sea, facing Russia, his diocese's neighbor, just a few hundred miles to the was also read simultaneously by Cardinal Konrad Jawinski, the papal almoner at the Sanctuary of Our Lady of Fatima in Portugal. In Moscow, Catholics turned in and prayed along with the live broadcast of the Pope's consecration from the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. The Virgin Mary specifically asked that Russia be consecrated to her Immaculate Heart in the 1917 apparitions at Fatima. The Vatican's Dicastery for Divine Worship defines consecration to Mary as an ovate recognition of the singular role of Mary in the mystery of Christ and of the Church, of the universal and exemplary importance of a witness to the gospel of trust in her intercession and of the efficacy of her patronage. In the past, several popes have consecrated the Church and world to Mary. Pope Pius XII consecrated the entire world to the Immaculate Heart of Mary on October 31st, 1942. St. John Paul II, who consecrated the entire Church and world to Mary 3 times during his pontificate, taught by consecrating oneself to Mary, we accept her help in offering ourselves fully to Christ. Before praying the consecration last year, Pope Francis explained that it is an act of complete trust on the part of children who, amid the tribulation of this cruel and senseless war that threatens our world, turn to their mother, reposing all their fears and pain in her heart and abandoning themselves to her.
The Reserve Bank of Malawi has urged financial service providers to put more investments in ensuring access to financial services among the people. RBM Deputy Governor William Matambo says from 2014 to 2018, proportion of adults with access to financial service products increased from 34 to 46.1%, which calls for more intervention in as far as bank expanding their service is concerned. He made the remarks yesterday in Lilongwe when he officially unveiled the Centenary Bank Malawi Limited, which also announced their new products that will simplify access to financial services. Brad Mwanza has more in this report.
The Centenary Bank Limited announced their new products such as Saint Pay, used in paying for different fees such as in schools, churches and hospitals, Centenary Bank's Scan and Pay solution for paying goods and services, making cash withdrawals and deposits through any bank, and the other one for opening bank accounts online. According to the Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of Malawi, William Matambo, future of banking basically is in the information technology, IT, and banks should try as much as they can to provide different platforms that will simplify people's access to financial services in the country. He said apart from banks having a special role in providing and mobilizing resources for the development of the country, they also have to play a big role in ensuring that everyone is given a space in financial matters as the country moves to reduce financial illiteracy rate.
We are very happy that Centenary Bank has already put their focus on microfinance, and related to that microfinance, I think they are bringing in a number of products which can be accessed by a lot of people in the rural areas. I think technologies that are not only reliant on use of smartphones, but you can use USSD codes to pay fees, to pay for various services, to deposit and encash money.
Bishop Anthony Joseph Ziwa, who is the chairperson of Uganda Episcopal Conference, which owns the Centenary Rural Development Group, said he is hopeful that the Centenary Bank will thrive in Malawi, having done the same in Uganda over the past 40 years.
We are new in Malawi as a market, Perhaps there will be some challenges, but dear brothers and sisters in Malawi, with the hard work and determination and God's grace, we shall thrive and become a solid and reliable bank in Malawi.
The name Centenary was taken from the celebration of 100 years of existence of the Catholic Church in Uganda some 40 years ago, and its logo is composed of Ugandan martyrs' shrine in Namugongo. The bank's assets in Uganda were worth $1.4 billion, which is about 1.1 trillion kwacha, and the bank recorded a 31% increase in profit from the previous year. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, I am Bernard Manza.
Members of Parliament have today passed Bill number 2 of 2023 International Development Association in Water and Sanitation Project, which approves government to receive 150,000 billion kwacha grant from the World Bank to finance a water and sanitation project that Blantyre Water Board and Blantyre City Council will be implementing. The development comes following the support from all members of Parliament, saying the bill will also help in the improvement of the healthy sector. According to Minister of Finance Austin Gwengwe, the grant, which will be coming in phases, is expected to improve access to safe water and sanitation services in the commercial city, reaching out to 330,000 people in Blantyre. Tandiwe Mzumala has more in this report.
Activities within the International Development Association in Water and Sanitation Project include management of sewerage systems, construction of sanitation facilities, kiosks, and upgrading of water supply pipes, among others. The House has also passed Bill number 3 of 2023, which approves government to receive from the International Development Association a grant equivalent to 85,800,000 special drawing rights as second edition of financing for the social support of Resilient Livelihoods project aimed at improving resilience among the poor and vulnerable population and to strengthen the national platform for safety nets in Malawi. In his presentation, Minister of Finance Austin Gwengwe noted that the passing of the two bills is timely, looking at how Cyclone Freddy has worsened the economic and sanitation situation in the southern region.
I think that we need to start enhancing, building back the livelihoods of our people, whether through social cash transfer or public works. But people have lost livelihoods, and I think now is the time that we now need to start paying more attention to how we can help our people to build back their lives as it used to be before cyclone. But let me also say that this is a national project, but this time around we've been able to negotiate with the World Bank that we pay attention particularly to those that are in effects of Cyclone Freddy, but also the drought in Karonga and a little bit of Chitiba.
Concurring with Gwengwe, both Democratic Progressive Party DPP and United Democratic Front UDF applauded the grants, noting that they will help Blantyre City, which is struggling with issues of water and sanitation, which have become a health threat to the city's residents, and better financial situation of those affected by Cyclone Freddy in the southern region. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Tandiwe Mzumara.
Opposition Democratic Progressive Party DPP has described the 2023-2024 budget as a lost opportunity, as it has failed to address the root causes of the country's economic crisis, which are intermittent power supply, scarcity of forex, and unsustainable debt stock levels. Presenting the party's response to the national budget earlier today in the National Assembly, Honorable Lafu Juma MP noted that the budget lacks credibility as it is being anchored by unrealistic assumptions of 2.7% GDP growth in 2023 and 3.2% growth in 2024. Among other things, Juma pointed out that on debt restructuring and management, the government said it would refinance or expensive and near-measuring debit using cheaper debit, and yet what is being seen is a single rollover of debits. He noted that, in fact, the country's public debt is standing at 8 Malawian trillion kwacha, which is 70% GDP, paying annual interest of nearly 1 million kwacha, which is 66% to total projected tax revenues, is obviously in distress. Here is part of what Juma said. If you're just tuning in, you're watching our 7:30 news bulletin coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center in Area 2, Lilongwe. We'll be back shortly after this.
Stand a chance to win big in the 52nd International Letter Writing Competition. All you have to do is to compose a letter with you, imagining that you are a superhero and your mission is to make all roads around the world safer for children. Write a letter to someone explaining which superpowers you would need to achieve your mission. To enter, you have to be a citizen of Malawi, aged between 9 and 15 years, and a primary or a secondary school learner. The letter must be in English. You are only allowed to submit one letter. The letter must be handwritten with no more than 1,000 words. Entries must have a stamp from your respective school. Entries must ensure that the name and address of each entrant are indicated in the cover letter and a note on the actual letter. Entrants must provide their name, date of birth, address, telephone number, and a contact email address on the cover letter. And finally, entries must be submitted by 31st March 2023. First prize for the best entry is a laptop and a gold medal. Second prize, a laptop and a silver medal. Third prize, a laptop and a bronze medal. Send your entry through the post office address to the Director General, 52nd International Letter Writing Competition, Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority, Macro House, Private Bag 261, Luntha. The competition is organized by the Malawi Communications and Regulatory Authority, MACRA, in collaboration with the Universal Postal Union, UPU. For more information, please call 0888 352 499. Express your creativity, refine your language skills, bring out innovative thinking and win.
The Malawi Health Equity Network has asked members of parliament, especially the ones in the health and budget committees, to lobby for more financial support towards the hay-free sector. This was said during an interface meeting with legislators on the presented 2022-2023 health budget estimates in Parliament. According to the board chair of Malawi Health Equity Network, Caroline Kasimu, she said there is need for health financing and investment to help improve the health sector. Jacqueline Saidi filed this report.
Following the analysis of the 2022 to 2023 budget estimates for the health sector, which includes the SRH and HIV/AIDS, Malawi Health Equity Network has asked members of parliament to lobby for more funding of the health sector as they have more crucial areas to be attended to. Speaking in an interview following the interface meeting with members of parliament on the presented health budget estimates in parliament, Malawi Health Equity Network board chair Caroline Kasamu said that there is need for health financing and investment to help improve the health sector.
The recommendation for government now is that we need to critically start thinking about health financing as an investment. We also need to think about how we can finance the budget, looking at the revenue that we have, the local revenue, but also now looking at other possible areas of generating revenue to finance our health budget. And I think what kept on coming tonight was the issue that we need to manage the budget efficiently. We need to start thinking about issues of efficiencies.
On her comment, chairperson of the Budget and Finance Committee of Parliament, Gladys Ganda, said the calls which have been made by Mehin and other stakeholders to lobby for more financial support towards the health sector are significant. He has noted that they have asked Malawi Health Equity Network to list down a proper outline of the most critical issues so that they find a way of presenting them to the Treasury.
Issues that they have highlighted, there are critical issues in nature. For instance, looking at the drug budget, they have indicated that it's not enough. They need some more money. They're looking at the blood budget. If you don't have enough money in the blood budget, it means you may have challenges whenever blood is needed across the country. They have also said some other things that are critical in nature. Therefore, as Budget and Finance Committee of Parliament, we've heard them. We will try to lobby with the Minister of Finance, of course, bearing in mind that we have challenges. As I speak, you are aware that there was Cyclone Freddy and it has damaged a lot of infrastructure. Probably even the revenue that government had planned to collect may not be able to do so because of the effects of Cyclone Freddy. But we'll push it forward to the government to see how best they can be assisted.
Meanwhile, the chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Health, Dr. Matthews Ngwale, has expressed concern that the budget is running short of the 15% Abuja declaration, though the amount has been increased.
This year's budget, although it has been increased to 330 billion, but then it is running short of the 15% Abuja declaration. We are now at 8.5% of the total budget, which is the lowest that we've seen over the years. And that's not a good thing, because now, instead of moving up towards the 15% Abuja declaration, we are moving negative. The second thing of concern has been the drug budgets.
The analysis of the 2022-2023 national budget estimates for health sector were done by Malawi Health Equity Network, Mehin, in partnership with Action Aid, Oxfam, AHF, and Christian Aid. For Luntha Television News, this is Jacqueline Saidi.
Ministry of Education has announced the reopening of schools in some districts affected by Cyclone Freddy. Minister of Education Madali Tsogambawa Wilima said in districts such as Manza, Neno, Luntha and Zomba, situation has normalized, hence the decision. She has disclosed this during a press briefing held in Lilongwe earlier today. The minister said all schools should resume physical classes on 27 March 2023 except those that require maintenance and those still being used as camps. This is part of what Wilima said.
Amongst the recommendations that my ministry have come up is one, that all schools in the affected districts should open on 27th March 2023, except for those where the schools are being used as camps for internally displaced people or are submerged in water and require certification by engineers. Further to that, that such schools will remain open until the 21st of July 2023, which marks the end of the third term. That those that have been in boarding school in the affected districts should close for 1 week and return to school on 10th April 2023. This is just to give the students just at least 1 week breathing space. That the following schools in Sheer Highlands Education Division, once they open on 27th March 2023, will not close on 31st March 2023, and these schools are Palombe, Chiradzulu, Luchenza, Cholo, Mulanje, and Chikwava. Not Chikwawa, Chikwava. Schools on Chisi Island in Zomba, namely Chisoni, Chinguma, and Ngota, will not open as scheduled because of rising water in Lake Chiwa, and that 40 standard 8 learners will be transferred to the mainland and accommodated at St. Michael's Teacher Development Center, also known as TTCs, where they will be provided with basic necessities for 7 weeks until they sit for their standard 8 examinations.
Minister of Education Madarito Gambo Wilima says the national research agenda is timely as it will allow researchers to come up with innovative solutions to solve humanitarian crisis through modeling climate change and its negative impacts, among other priorities. She made the remarks on Wednesday when she presided over the official launch of the national research agenda in Lilongwe. Gambo Wilima further said the country's first ever national research agenda in support of the 10-year implementation plan towards achieving the national vision, Malawi 2063, will transform the country, hence calling on key players to join in as implementation of the agenda will be needing about 2 billion kwacha every year. Bridget Manoga has more in this report.
The minister said that the national research agenda is crucial to the country because research, science and technology is key to a lot of things that are pathway to great innovation and other positive things which can help achieve the country's agenda, as it is designed in a manner that it will operationalize research and development in the country. She then stated that the agenda signifies the great importance that the government of Malawi attaches to research and development, R&D, and science, technology and innovation, STI, as critical.
This is one of the, I would say it as asks that is in the Malawi 2063 agenda. Especially I'm going to talk about the first 10-year plan, which we call MIP1. So this is something that we needed to do. It was actually something that we had to do as a country in order to make sure that we are operationalizing research and development, science and technology in the country.
In his remarks, the board chairperson of the National Commission for Science and Technology, NCST, Professor Emmanuel Kaunda, who is also the Vice Chancellor of Luana, said the agenda underlines the country's commitment to making science, technology, and innovation key drivers of a knowledge-based economy, which is aspiration number 2 in Vision Malawi 2063. He then marred through the pillars and enablers of Malawi 2063. This national research agenda provides a strategic and focused research, innovations, and technologies that should propel Malawi to the future by becoming self-reliant.
the best we'll have is that each and every universities will have to emulate or will have to follow the research agenda after this research agenda. Well, this research agenda which we are having here is got a national vision, but it is also framed after the Malawi 2063, after the MIP 1. So we really need what all universities, academia, whatever science is going to be done should be within the framework of what is going to be, because this framework is going to tackle the issues which are on the ground, which are on the ground.
UNICEF country representative Gerrit Martz emphasized that robust research and evaluative evidence shed light on new knowledge and helping to educate all segments of our society. He said research is an essential constituent of the MIP to steer the country in researching the Vision 2063.
Every decision that we make as development partners, as governments, should be based on evidence. And without research, evaluations, it's impossible for us to know what is going on in our societies, what the trends are, especially when it comes to issues of development. So the fact that Malawi has launched the National Research Agenda that is supporting the Malawi Implementation Plan of 2030 and Malawi Vision 2063 is extremely exciting, because building on this national research agenda, we can get the evidence that we need to improve our decision making and to make sure that we reach the goals that we've set out for ourselves to achieve.
For the implementation of the agenda to be a success, the country needs about 2 billion kwacha every year. This is Bridget Manoka for Luntha News in Lilongwe.
The National Youth Network for Climate Change says the just-ended tropical cyclone Freddy has exposed the gaps that the country has in accordance to children's rights, as it has shown that children are not prioritized in disaster responses. Speaking to Luntha Television, Clement Mahua, who is the communication officer for NYNCC, said the country had tailor-made responses. Children would have been prioritized in rescuing, and their rights, including the right to education, would not be infringed. He also said the delays in the passing of the Disaster Risk Management Bill in the country and the lack of proper budget for Dodoma is a sign that the country is not ready to protect its citizens, especially children who do not even have a voice in crucial matters. Lashida Marandiga forwarded this report.
Makua said the country needs to accept that it has failed in disaster preparedness, as for the past 5 years it has been hit left, right and center by different disasters, but the lessons have not been deep enough to push leaders into taking tangible actions to prevent and manage them. He, however, said the worst problem is that children who are innocent in decision-making are being affected, and there are no proper ways to protect their lives and rights. Makua, like other environmental activists, has blamed the absence of the Disaster Risk Management Bill as one of the factors that has brought in pain to most children whose fate would have been different if it was in operation.
As NYNCC, we are so much disappointed the way we have responded to the disaster as regard to children, because it's now over 5 years that Malawi has been experiencing these kind of disasters in recent times, which means as of now, we needed to have the law, the disaster risk management law passed. It has been in the shelves, it has been on the draft form for over 5 years. And now, if we, in absence of the law that looks into issues of risk and management as regard to disaster, it means the department responsible for a disaster will not be allocated resources, because as of now, Dodoma gets its funding from unforeseen budgets, which means there's no specific budget line of the budget votes from the National Assembly that goes to Dodoma.
As of Thursday, 23rd March, Blantyre Council had registered over 9,000 children that are in camps, some of whom are not aware of their parents and relatives' whereabouts, and according to the district social welfare officer, Betha Chizalo, the numbers will increase as assessment is still in progress. She said after everything, and when it's time for survivors to go back home, the office will be tracing relatives of all children who might be alone at the camps, and if need be, others will be sent to orphanages. Chizalo also expressed concern on the trauma that has befallen most children in the just-ended nightmare. Meanwhile, despite the state president's remarks on relocation of victims to safe places after the life in camps, it remains unclear if Parliament will consider tabling the Disaster Risk Management Bill, which has clauses on disaster management and prevention, but activists are still on it, advocating that the bill be passed to avoid future reoccurrence of what has happened this year in the country. For Luntha TV, this is Rashida Matandika reporting.
And in other news, a Ugandan MP who voted in favor of the bill that targets homosexual people has told the BBC that if the US withdraw funding in protest, it would mount to a modern genocide. The US government has said there could be repercussions should the measure be signed into law by President Yoweri Museveni. MP Charles Sayume, a medical doctor, told the BBC News program with the US provided right funding for critical life-saving areas like malaria and HIV. Responding to the US criticism of the bill passed by MPs on Tuesday, Dr. Ayume said that Uganda's sovereignty should be respected. He also added that there were things he objected to in the US, but he did not want to interfere in the politics of that country. According to the bill, people who identify as gay in Uganda risk life in prison. It also includes the death penalty in certain cases. That concludes our today's news bulletin, but before we go, let's have a look at our top stories once more. Pope Francis invites Catholics to renew consecration to Immaculate Heart of Mary on March 25th. Parliament moves to improve access to safe water and sanitation services for 330,000 people in Luntha. Ministry of Education announces plans of reopening schools in districts affected by Cyclone Freddy. And in other news, Ugandan President urges United States of America to respect Ugandan sovereignty over anti-gay bill. You have been with me, Fales Chizombe. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and goodbye for now.